Hello everyone. This is not a daily reflection, but it's still a reflection, So it's just a reflection on some videos slash material that I've read or watched, which I would like to share because I think they're quite good. Anyway, let's start. So, the first video I watched was 4 reasons we are facing dryness in prayer, and I'm here to share it. So the first reason is sin. When we sin, we choose to turn away from God and the grace He has in store for us. First reason to why we are facing dryness in prayer. Number 2 is maybe we are sick, tired, or exhausted. Pretty self-explanatory. Number 3, God is purifying us. Not sure what that means, but He always has a plan, so just trust in His plan, Number 4, praying, but not in the way that God wants us to pray in that season of our lives. So I guess what this means is we are asking Him for a lot of things when what He wants may be for us to just sit down, be still, and listen. So there are 2 main forms of praying. One is meditative prayer, where you just talk to God, you talk to the air, because God is everywhere, omnipotent, omnipresent. Talk to God. The second one is contemplative prayer, where you be in His presence. That means you just sit still and don't do anything and just listen. And this might sound crazy, but I think it works. I thought it was crazy because Augie keeps trying to tell me to just be still in quiet time and just listen. I don't think you expect to hear a physical voice, but the voice you hear is in your thoughts, and I guess just know that it comes from God, most of the time if you listen. It's not really talking to yourself, actually. I can't explain it. Yeah, I'm not smart enough. Anyways, we go on to the 6 steps for biblical decision making. Okay, number 1 is pray for guidance. Get God's perspective on the issue. Quote, "A man is a fool to trust himself, but those who use God's proverbs are safe." End quote. Number 2, get the facts. There is no contradiction between faith and fact. According to Proverbs chapter 13 verse 16, or is it verse 13 to 16? Okay, anyways, it says, "All who are prudent act with knowledge." So get the facts. Number 3, ask for advice. Talk to somebody who has made a similar decision and friends who know your weaknesses. Quote, "The more good advice you get, the more likely you are to win." It just brings me back to the conversation I had yesterday with my, I guess you could call it a cell group. So as you know, I think among men, 90%, 99, 95, I don't know, a really large percentage of the male population are addicted to the sin of lust, or rather are really impacted by the sin of lust. And so because I'm quite a late bloomer, just started like last year, I went to ask my cell group mates for advice. Yeah, and I think the advice they gave was really useful. So I guess I can share some of what I learned yesterday. So you don't run away from it, you face it head on. And what you can do is to sleep earlier. You can just avoid all inappropriate material, block it off on social media, on YouTube, whatsoever. You can surround yourself with friends or family when you feel tempted, or I'm sure there are more, but I can't really recall them off the top of my head, you know. I just know that knowledge is power, and I'm thankful for that. So shout out to Gabe, Tim, and Lionel, and Augie as well. Okay, let's carry on. Number 3. Sorry, we just finished number 3. Number 4, calculate the cost. Every decision has a price tag. It will cost you time, money, reputation, talents, or resources, or sometimes multiple. When others pressure you to make a decision, it is okay to say, quote, "I'll get back to you." It's more important to make a wise decision than a quick decision. Number 5, prepare for problems. In faith, expect the best. Expect God to work in your life, but also prepare for the problems that are part of every decision. Solomon says in Proverbs 22, chapter 22, verse 3, I'm quite sure it works that way, I'll find out after this. A prudent man foresees the difficulties ahead and prepares for it. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. I am the simpleton most of the time. Or was. Now I know better. Number 6, face your fears. Perfectionism paralyzes potential. God has always used imperfect people in imperfect situations to get His will done. According to Ecclesiastes, oh my gosh, tongue twister, man. Chapter 11, verse 4 says, "If you wait for the perfect conditions, you will never get anything done." End quote. Therefore, you have to trust God and start moving in spite of your problems, fears, and doubts. Those are the six steps for biblical decision making. So today, I also attended, I guess you can call it a community Zoom meeting. And this is my takeaway. These are my takeaways from the meeting. So, joy is not happiness. They are two different things. Joy is a choice. Saint Maximilian Kolbe and Saint Paul both suffered in prison. They were in prison, they were tortured to some extent, and they both suffered. But they were joyful in their suffering. So I guess it is quite ironic to be happy in the middle of suffering, right? But the word joyful, I think, to me, means you always look on the bright side of every situation, no matter how dire, how bad. So to be joyful is to choose to look at the cup half full, because life is too short to be negative! Exclamation mark. Joy is internal, but happiness is external, or rather, while happiness is external, because we're comparing them, right? So joy is deep and profound. It comes from being at peace with yourself and understanding your purpose, whereas happiness is shallow and fleeting. It comes from material gains and secular interaction. Those are just examples lah. It's not, I think it's for the most part true, you know? Yeah. So, oh yeah, okay, that's it for joy and happiness. There's another quote that I wrote. I will always hurt people, and people will always hurt me. So the sooner you come to terms with that fact, the better, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings and nobody is perfect, you know. There was another quote that I saw. which I think goes like this. If everybody likes you, then something is wrong. Because I don't think you should live to please everybody, you know? And yeah, you might become a very unhappy person in the process. But I mean, of course, ideally, you offend nobody. Unlike me, ideally, yeah. Okay. So today, during sharing, we had 6 drawings. The first one was to represent the question, who am I? The second one was, what does growth look like to me? The third one was, what makes a family? The fourth one was, what does a good day look like? The fifth one was, what are any hopes and dreams? And the sixth one was, what are your hopes and dreams for God? So I guess I can share that drawing with you guys. And if you're keen, you can draw the same 6 questions out and message me. Thanks for watching.